Coucou my peers, hello my loves, Marhaba, habibetey. See, I remember, I can do a normal intro, and I remembered my outro now, thank you. So I just thought I had so much fun filming this get ready with me, like chatty, let's sit and catch up kind of video last week. And so I wanted to do this again this week. I think I'm gonna try to do at least one of these a week, just so that we kind of have a chance to like sit down and chat and catch up. So yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna start the same way I told you, my baby skin. My Maybeline baby skin is my primer. My friend Sarah Conley, who if you have not checked her out, you should, because she's a phenomenal human being, and like I want to say like what I inspire to be when I grow up in terms of just like fierce and awesome and such a great human being. Anyways, I will link her Instagram and her website and all that jazz in the description box below. Well, it's gonna have a fit. I still have like a bit of mascara on my eyes. I never can seem to get all my mascara off, like no matter what I do. I can't get it all off. And she's like, what would Caroline Hiron say about your skincare routine? And I'm like, probably that I'm not doing enough, but it is a problem I'm working on. Anyways, Sarah Conley, amazing human being. She launched last year a set of shirts and stickers, and I think there was another product, maybe they were magnets. Sarah, I'm so sorry, I can't remember. I got like a sweater and a t-shirt, and it spoke to me on so many different levels, but the tagline was, my body is not your problem to be solved. And I love it. It speaks to so much that we're going to talk about today. That was kind of going to be the theme of today's video. I mean, here we still are in July of 2020, and I still think that important things to be said are social distance, wash your hands, wear your mask, arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, stop putting children in cages. Like, there's so many things that if I had to like redux it really quick, so we're not here all day, that's it. But the theme kind of that I planned in my head for today's video, oh, Peau, don't fail me. Don't you dare. I still can't buy any more of you. They're still sold out. They're still sold out. I need to cut it open is what I need to do. There's usually so much more product when you do that. I've been avoiding doing that because it gets really messy. Because I'm me. Anyways, so what we're trying to talk about today, I thought I was distracted last week, is health and well-being and body image and self-love and all those really, really critical things that are super important. That kind of were very top of mind to me today, so I thought I would chat with you guys about it since it was at the top of my mind. So I mean, before I launch into like my personal stuff, which is really the majority of what I would share on this channel, is like my experiences and my opinions and my ponderings, so that we can have a conversation. I realized as I was editing and rewatching the last video, the last Get Ready With Me, is that this channel's always been about conversation. And so, yeah, I don't know why I was so hesitant to bring other topics of conversation into this. But anyways, so yeah, before I give you kind of like my spiel, where I'm at with all these things so that we can talk about that, and hear where you guys are at, I wanted to say that you are all perfect. You're all amazing. Like, I don't want anything that I say about my journey to come off as a value judgment on anybody. And for those of you out there who have perfected the act of self-love, I am sending you nothing but love, and I am hoping that I can be inspired by that and get to that place myself, because it is a journey, let me tell you. So I guess what prompted and inspired this topic of conversation was two things. One was Sarah, being amazing and reaching out to me after my last video, and we got to chatting about beauty and how excited we were to see each other again here, and how running is still being an awesome thing in my life, and how that makes me happy and how she's happy about it and all that stuff. And it made me realize that in my, let's call it, health journey, and that being like mental and emotional and self-love and all that jazz, running has been the one positive constant that I will say without a shadow of a doubt, like I want to say has saved me. That makes it seem really dramatic, and if you know me in real life, you know that I'm kind of a little bit dramatic. So I'm gonna say it because that's the first thought that pops into my head, but it's also been the thing that's been the healthiest for me, and just such an amazing tool that I'm so grateful for. I put Tarte Shape Tape on my face. That was my concealer. Same thing. And then I'm still using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette until I use it up, and then I'll find something else I love more. So I feel like I've done these health update whatever videos for a while on my channel, and at the age of 30, as I sit here in front of you today, having now run 2 marathons, which I'm super, super proud of, and weighing almost the heaviest I've ever been, I can tell you that I finally feel like I'm making headway on this battle that I've had with myself probably for almost my entire life, of feeling like my health, my well-being, my self-esteem is tied to my weight. I have weighed, so I'm 5'8"-ish, I would say. Yeah, I don't think I'm quite 5'9", but I'm probably about 5'8", 185 centimeters, if that means anything to anybody. But I have weighed as little as 130 pounds, and at my heaviest, I was 250 pounds. And right now, I'm about 238. And I only know that because I was curious. I knew I was filming this video this morning, so I popped on the scale. I haven't been weighing myself with any frequency for a while now. But yeah, I know because I looked this morning. And I kind of wanted to give those numbers because I feel like a lot of times we don't talk about numbers because we, or at least I, associate some kind of value to them. And so why give them that power? I don't know, I'm so nervous today, you guys. This is like, it shouldn't be such a nerve-wracking video to film. I'm like scared of saying the wrong thing again, and that's endemic of all these conversations we have to have. Just say the thing, and say your piece, and trust that it gets met with love and understanding and compassion. And if it doesn't, cool. That's what the delete button is for, in my opinion. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that a really cool thing happened by having run both of my marathons within 10 pounds of my heaviest weight. And it's that I've started, more than I've ever been in my entire life, to disassociate the fact that I have to be thin in like my range, right? To be strong and healthy. And that sounds like, as soon as I say it out loud, I think that's probably also why I'm a little nervous in this video, is because a lot of the things that I say to myself, as soon as I hear them out loud, or if I were to hear somebody I love say them, I would give them a hug and say, no, don't say those things about yourself. What are you talking about? And so it's a little embarrassing to admit that I've been walking around for so long with these thoughts in my head, like I had to be skinny in order to be healthy or beautiful or worth something. Like that is the biggest thing that still makes me crazy, is I feel like I had, like there were moments in my life, especially in university, where like I was so proud of all these things I was doing, but because I'd gained a bunch of weight, I felt useless and worthless. And like, I was mad at myself at the time for having those feelings, and I'm even more mad. I shouldn't be mad, but that's the way I feel now. But I realized that those were my feelings and they were valid, and I need to express them and embrace them so I can move past them, if that makes sense. Anyways, I think the reason I will forever love the marathon distance, and I will continue to, under the advisement of my coach, race them. And I mean under the advisement of my coach because otherwise I would try to do it all the time and then I would hurt myself. Defer to Heather for how often I should be running that distance. But I think what's been so cool about it is that it's allowed me to feel and embrace the like beautiful in this body, grateful for this body. I'm sorry, all these things sound so generic, but like I feel like I have to get that out. And so yeah, I am grateful. This is the body at this weight that carried me through this distance. And it's crazy because I can say that to myself till I'm blue in the face. But like yesterday and in the last few weeks as I was gearing up for this race, I catch myself looking at myself in the mirror and being like, dang, you look good, girl. Like I'm not one that usually like says that about my body, you know? But all that stuff that you say, it starts to like trickle into your like psyche and your being, and I don't know, it just like, I started believing it, heart, mind, and soul, and it was phenomenal. Oh, by the way, I didn't even say what I was using. Cat font, yeah, we talked about that. This is the Illamasqua Beyond Powder in Epic. I have a feeling like I read something, I've not been as in tune with the beauty community as I used to be, but I feel like I heard that Illamasqua maybe went under, and that makes me super, super, super sad. I hope I miss hearing that. It was just the school that closed, but yeah, if you can still get your hand on these Beyond powders, they're really beautiful. Before I launch into another self-love, rah, I'm going to tell you that I'm using the Sephora Pantone Universe Shimmering Marsala Cheek Trio. It was a limited edition a while ago, but I'm using the blush from in here as my blush. Do you guys remember when they did these collections? I love them so much. I have the Marsala, and then they did that purple tone the year after. I don't feel like they've done those for a while, or they have, and I've just been like disconnected from it all. But yeah, I'm putting that blush on my face. Anyways, it's hard. I know a lot of amazing people start running, like my friend Kristen, for example, to lose weight because it's a tool that is so empowering and like not easy because the sport itself is easy, but it can be done on your own time. It's versatile, like it's flexible, and so it allows, there's that accessibility to it that's really great. And I don't want any of what I'm saying here to take away from that, because I think no matter where you find your joy in whatever you do for your physical activity, the things that make your heart pump and your lungs work and all of that, you know. Okay guys, I feel like I completely lost my train of thought. But I guess what I was just trying to say is that, like, do the thing that makes you feel healthy, right? And when I mean healthy, I mean it from all aspects, right? Like that make you feel physically healthy, like you're taking care of your heart health, that make you feel emotionally and mentally at peace and calm and taking care of your mental health that way, that bring a smile to your face. I think for too long, exercise has been, at least in the way that I've experienced it a lot of the times, this thing that's punitive in some ways, right? So we you know, you do it to burn X amount of calories, or, you know, to make up for a big meal you had, or whatever it is. And so it's supposed to hurt, and it's supposed to be hard, and it's not always fun, and, you know, all those things. So it's crazy. Sorry, can we talk about this for a minute? This is the Too Faced Honey Please Liquid Glitter Eyeshadow. These are the eyeshadows I tell you about. Like literally this and dabbing with my finger and we're done. I love it. Anyways, so I have found that for myself that that's what was happening, right? That I was loving running up until the point where it got to a thing that I had to do that I had to do it, right? Like it was about hitting a certain pace so that I would qualify for this race. People come to running for a variety of reasons, right? And I respect the heck out of every single one of you and whatever that reason or that joy or that health journey looks like. Instead of trying to like make these generalized statements where I try not to offend anybody, that's all I want to say at the outset, right? It's like, I respect you and I love you and you're perfect just the way you are, and you are beautiful and you're whole and you show up every day and do the best you can, and that is something to be applauded. Sentence, line break, next section. And that is, I want to talk to you guys about me and where I have been at with all this stuff. So, like I said earlier in this video, at my lowest I was 130 pounds, and at my heaviest I've been 250, and I'm about 240 now. And it's crazy, it's crazy. I'm gonna rewatch this video and like shake my head, because if you had shown this to me a few years ago, I would not have believed you. When I tell you that I have never felt stronger, never felt more self-confidence or more self-love than I do right now in this body, because I feel like it is 1,000% due to my marathon training and running, that I can tell you that this body that's at 239 or 238 pounds is beautiful, and I'm so grateful for it, and I love it, and it is perfect the way it is. And for the first time in my life, I find myself going out for a run or showing up to a yoga class or a bar class with Laura or whatever it is, not because I have to, and have to coming from a place of like, oh, well, you gotta work out to lose the weight, or you have to like work out to be healthy, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute, why I'm putting on air quotes, and it should hurt and it should be hard and it should feel like a chore, because that's when you know you're putting enough effort into it. Eating healthy, like, you know, instead of being a chore like it's been for my entire life, is finally like something switched in my mind where I'm like, I'm gonna eat chips today because I feel like eating chips because I love chips. But 9 out of 10, let's not say 9, 7 out of 10 times, when reaching for a meal choice, I want the healthy option. I want the option that has carbs and protein and veg, because I want to fuel my body. Like, for the first time, food feels like fuel, as opposed to like either punishment and having like the healthy, boring choice, or like something that invites pleasure into my life by having the great choice. I'm still the girl that will order a pizza when I'm having a bad day, because pizza makes me happy. And I will watch that, you know, I'm not having pizza every night, because I start feeling sick if I have, you know, all of that all the time. But it is crazy how much the past year of training for this impossible distance, when they tell you if you want to change your life, train for a marathon, it is no joke. I'm sitting here in front of you saying things that I never thought I would say. Not only saying them, but like believing them, heart, mind, body, and soul. And finally being like, screw the scale, man. Like, I don't care anymore what size my pants are or how much weight I've gained or lost. And that is nothing to take away from anyone else's journey or their own, you know, accomplishments or a sense of success or health or happiness in their body. Like I said, I applaud every single one of you, and you are perfect. But for me, this has been huge. And I feel like there's a thing that I didn't say for a long time, like between probably the last time I filmed the health updates to now, which is that even when I was telling myself that it wasn't about the weight, oh, I would just, you know, I would work maybe on losing some weight because it would be better for my running or my knees or my joints. It was never about that. It was always an excuse, I think, to subconsciously focus on weight loss because of this idea that if only I would, oh, this is hard to say. I could only be beautiful if I was skinny. I could only be truly successful if I was skinny. Yeah, I don't know. The amount of external praise that comes from that is immense. And so there's probably a whole bunch of like external forces that led me to feel that way. But also, so the stay healthy part is the second part of this. Doctors have a way of making you feel like that's the truth. Like people who are thin can't be healthy. And these are doctors, so we're supposed to believe them, right? I'm gonna keep doing my makeup, so I've got something to distract myself and so that I focus on not crying. And I'm gonna put more of this Too Faced, but in a different color. Where's the other one? Machiatto Madness. They wanna make you believe that you cannot be healthy at any weight. And I believe that for the longest time. There's two instances that come to my mind right away. One is which I was at a doctor's appointment with my sister. It wasn't even my doctor's appointment. It was a doctor's appointment for my sister. And the doctor had the audacity. First of all, I didn't like her to start with because, well, my sister went in there with a whole bunch of stuff that she needed, like diagnostic support and an opinion and like some sense of relief with. Not only did she like ignore her and we're like, oh no, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Basically, don't worry about it. She then turned around to me and went, and this was an OB, by the way, and she went, but you, Sarah, like I worry, with that weight, and is it like really good for you to carry that? And I just feel bad and she knew my grandmother, and she was like, I feel bad for your grandmother, and like you would worry about stuff like polycystic ovaries, and I'm like, you don't even know what? And I was so flabbergasted. Like she's going on about how if I don't lose the weight, I'm hurting myself, and she hadn't even given me, like she had no proof for that other than what she saw. Like it wasn't like she took an ultrasound or anything, but you're in a doctor's office, like the doctor knows best, right? And I think I got mad, but initially I was just taken aback because I wasn't expecting it. And the second time I feel like I let medical professionals let these, I'm gonna call them stigmas because they're not diagnoses, not even get to me, that's the wrong way of putting it, but just like negatively impact me, maybe that's a better way of saying it, is when I last probably did a health check and I talked to you guys about my intracranial pressure, and the short version of it is I was getting these really, really bad migraines, and it turns out that the pressure in my intracranial fluid was very high, and they needed me to bring it down after a series of very painful testing. They needed me to bring it down. If I couldn't do it naturally, they were gonna have to put me on drugs, which don't have the greatest side effects. So, yeah, my doctor's great and I love her, but before I got to see her, I saw a whole bunch of other specialists who were like, basically like, it might be brain cancer, but we're not sure. My camera stopped recording. It's like, we're getting too serious, man. We're not about this life. Anyways, when they finally figured out what it was, I asked them what made this happen and how I would go about making it go away without having to take the drugs. And 3 or 4 doctors went, so we're not really sure. This happens in women who are, mid-20s to mid-30s. It's sometimes stress related, but mainly it's weight related. And if you can lose like 25 to 30 pounds, you should be fine. And that's what they kept focusing on. And they like glazed over the rest of it. And so for a few years there, so I aggressively started losing weight. Like you guys will remember if you've been here long enough, because I thought that's what I needed to quote unquote save my life. And I'm not saying that flippantly. If I couldn't get the intracranial pressure under control through what they were telling me at the time, which was weight loss, or the pills, I could lose my eyesight. So your eyesight is one thing and your life is another thing, but like it was significant, right? And it was like constantly, Sarah, just lose the weight. And every time I went in there having lost weight and gotten a positive exam, it was kudos, good for you, you're doing great. And I was, until I couldn't have like meal prep and going to the gym every single day, be something I did all the time because I had started a new job, because it was exhausting. It wasn't good for my mental health. Obviously, I had gone back to tying, like I'd done all this work in like untying my self of worth and healthiness and feeling good in my body at any size. That had gone to the wayside because all of a sudden now I had to be skinny to be healthy, and it messed with me, and I was working really hard to have it not mess with me, but how does it not? Anyways, so eventually a breaking point happened, right? I started putting the weight back on. And I would go into those appointments so nervous that I was gonna get the bad news. And then something amazing happened. I put on 50 of the 60 pounds that I had lost, and my numbers were still good. And in the meantime, I kept running, right? I kept meditating, I kept doing the things that were good for my mental health, because I have struggled with anxiety. And I knew that, you know, at least that was something I could continue to work on. And my numbers kept being good. And I finally had a really realistic conversation with my doctor last year, and I said, you guys kept telling me this was about my weight, but it's not. Because look at these numbers that for a year now have been fine. Like I waited a year before I had that conversation with her because I didn't want it to be some fluke. And I was like, can you explain this to me? Like, I'm not mad, but I need to know that, like, do I have to continue to stay panicked about my weight? Like, do I have to keep fighting this fight that's like, you know, keep the weight off, which feels impossible because it doesn't want to stay off, despite my best attempts, because I can't live as prohibitively as I was when I was losing the weight. And then also, you know, I'm finding that in training for this marathon and running this marathon, I love it, but there is no active weight loss during marathon training. Half marathon training, totally, but in marathon training, there's just no way. So I need to know, like, I need to know what the truth is. I need to know how to adjust my goals and my expectations and like what's healthy, and do we have to look at the medication option? Because honestly, and this was a weird thing for me to say, I would rather be at this weight and as happy as I am now than back to there and not have any semblance of balance in my life. Like, that is not a sustainable place for me to go. So if you have to give me the drugs, then so be it, because I'm not losing the weight again. It's a weird thing to say out loud. For me, it was, right? And then she said a thing which should have made me happy, but shocked me, and kind of made me angry again. And she's like, oh, well, you know, it's not only weight that could cause this, it's weight and stress. So probably what happened is that it was the stress that triggered it in you, and now that you're managing that better, you're good. And I sat there and I was like, for 3 years, y'all fed me this garbage about how my weight was the problem. And if I could just lose the weight, I would be healthy and not jeopardize my eyesight. And that was a load of baloney. And she's like, that was not the word I used, but we're gonna use it for this purpose. And she's like, oh no, like, I mean, it works for some people, you know, but it's not always the truth. And I'm like, then why was it not presented to me in that way? And I mean, my story is not as bad as others that I've heard. And I'm gonna try to keep quiet because I don't know how many of the people that have trusted me with their stories are stories that they share publicly and ones that they haven't, but like being denied medical care because you're severely over or underweight, being treated less than by medical professionals because of your weight. How does that not feed in to all of these negative self-talk conversations that we have had with ourselves since we were so young, that are reinforced by images we see in the media and stuff we see on TV and our own families and friends, definitely in quotation marks. And like, I don't know, I have seen the way that family members or people that I consider friends in my life treat me at different weights, and they are starkly different. Same thing with medical professionals, but the medical professionals was the straw that broke the camel's back to me, because it was like, you are here as a doctor. You're supposed to care about my health, my actual health, not some like stupid stigmatized view of what healthy is. Like, how dare you? How dare you, right? Like, I don't care. I don't care what you say. It takes a person who is healthy and strong and in good shape to run a marathon. And when I was at 130 pounds, I couldn't have done that. So your whole system, your whole infrastructure is based on lies. And I'm over it. I don't know if I'm gonna post this video, you guys. It's a hot mess of a video. I mean, if you're seeing this at this point, that means that I found a way to edit it where it makes some cohesive sense. But I don't know. I should have written a script. Just so that there could be some sense to what I'm saying. I guess if I do post it, it's because I think it's worth it to put this out there when all I was trying to say is that I'm here and I love you. And if you've gone through anybody, whether it's a healthcare professional or a person in your life or your own self telling you that you're less than, or that you're not amazing and strong and worthy of living a long, happy life, then screw them. Like, you are. And I want us to take back our happy, to do things that fuel our bodies and move our bodies and love our bodies unapologetically and loud. So it is hours later, as my camera decided to shut down and my SD card filled up. You guys, this video is drinks. So I had stuff I had to do, so I ran out to do that, and I decided that there's some good sunshine and there's peace in nature, so maybe I'll do kind of the last clip here. Really all I wanted to say was to just live life boldly. And at the end of my videos I always say life is too short to wear boring lipstick, and that's not just about the color of the lipstick that you wear. Like, if you've been here long enough, you guys know what I'm talking about. But really it's about being bold and unapologetic, and so that relates to here as well, right? Do the things that feed your body and your soul. Love yourself fully. And I guess the other one in the update is, as much, I think I was probably getting more and more frustrated as the video went on, because I thought I was in a really good place, but I think I'm realizing that I'm in a better place, but I've still got a lot of room to go before that place of self-love and acceptance is there. And again, everyone is on their own journey, and I love and support each of you in those journeys. I want to continue to work on getting to a place where I love my body for what it helps me achieve and where it's gotten me to, and just, let go of all the rest. Life is too short, man. It just really, really is. So anyways, my points of positivity for the day are a full face of makeup, which I'm into, getting to sleep in this morning a little bit, and some glorious weather. So with that said, if this video is going to go up, then I love you and thank you for making it to the end and bearing with me, and share all your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you later. But as always, I have to remind you that life is way too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye guys.